And now, The Business Buzz, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local business environment. This is where we address the business topics that matter. Here's your host, Sabrina Turner.
Good morning, Cayman, and it's time for another Business Buzz right here on Radio Cayman. I'm your host, Sabrina Turner, and it is my pleasure to bring you another show. And we have two guests today. Our first segment, we put the spotlight on e-waste, electronics recycling. And after the 8 o'clock news, sports and weather update, we put the spotlight in here about the RICS Property and Construction Conference. Now, the Business Buzz is brought to you every Tuesday and Thursday and is proudly sponsored by greenturtle.ky and also brought to you by Cayman Medical Supplies. Without further ado, I'd like to welcome in studio and visiting with me this morning Mr. Erdman McCoy and Mr. Michael Henry, here to tell us more about e-waste and what is e-waste. Good morning, gentlemen, and it's a pleasure to have you on our show.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us, Sabrina.
Now, tell our listening audience and myself, please, the details on the reasoning behind opening up this business called e-waste. Can you just pull the mic a little closer to you? Yeah, both of you.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, one of the reasons behind opening e-waste was just simply a conversation that me and my business partner here, Erdman, was having. And his background comes from the Mac store, which you already know. So he's already very inclined with electronics. And previously, before opening this company, I used to work at Port Authority and always saw the abundance of items coming into the island. And there really wasn't no way of them leaving other than the landfill. So me and him having a discussion about it. And, he basically said, well, why we don't try to be a part of the solution instead of dumping it off at the landfill. And that's how we basically came up with e-waste electronics recycling.
Okay. What key things should customers look for when choosing an e-waste recycler?
Things to look for should be, when you're choosing an e-waste recycling, is the certification of the downstream holder. For sensitive data, you have the R2, which is responsible recycling. And you have the E-Steward, which is the environmental certification. All of these standards would be a peace of mind for customers that are throwing away old devices, obsolete devices, to make sure that they are disposed of safely, ethically, and legally.
Now, in your opinion, what items are considered electronics for e-waste recycling? And pretty much what gets recycled from scrapped electronics?
So, electronics, most of the electronic have a circuit board and a battery. So that would be considered e-waste. Cell phones, laptops, headphones, anything with a battery, like I said, and electronic circuit board is considered e-waste. Stuff that is scrapped from it are plastic, the metal, the precious metals from the circuit board is scrapped and reused back to manufacturers.
Now, how are the items collected, or can persons drop equipment off to a specific location?
Yeah, but as of now, we do what you call a free pickup. And we're also in the process of setting up bins around the island where you can drop off items. And in the future, we're looking forward to going into the schools and also setting up bins there, because we've suffered in Cayman from what you call lack of starting us off young in anything. So if you can teach the children from now how to recycle properly and the right way, they would. In the future, it can only be better for them.
Now, are companies expected to sanitize sensitive data held on storage media and equipment prior to having them disposed of, or does your company provide that service as well?
So the company that we are affiliated with is Powerhouse Recycling, which is in the U.S. I know most companies are very protective of their data.
Yeah.
So most of them would sanitize their data. However, Powerhouse do offer data destruction and shredding. And under the DoD, which means Department of Defense, and NIST, which is the National Institute of Standard Technology Regulations, are some of the certifications and regulations that they have to follow to make sure that sensitive data isn't leaked back to the public.
Mm-hmm. So what happens to some hazardous materials or all hazardous materials removed from electronics during the recycling process?
The hazardous materials, they're sent back to smoldering factories, mm-hmm. refineries, and they're used back with the different manufacturers.
Okay. You're in tune to Radio Cayman's Business Buzz as we put the spotlight in our first segment on e-waste electronic recycling. E-waste is a company in the Cayman Islands offering services to companies when they're ready to get rid of their unwanted and obsolete electronic devices. It is critical that these items are disposed of correctly and handled by professionals at e-waste. For more information from e-waste, what are your contact details?
You can contact me, myself, Erdman, 916-6764, or Michael at 325-5033, and our email is info@ewaste.ky. That's info, INFO, at e-waste, WASTE.ky.
Okay, we're going to take our first break. When we come back, we'll hear more about e-waste electronic recycling and how it's that time of the year anyhow. When we're cleaning up our homes, you may have broken printers or old-time TVs with the big old knob still. Yes, there's a way to correctly dispose of them. But you'll hear more about that when we come back.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, sponsored by Cayman National Bank. Visit Cayman National Bank today for all of your financial needs. The Cayman Islands, he hath founded it upon the seas.
Commissioner Hurst was noted for many achievements during his tenure, including the increase in road infrastructure, the establishment of the Government Savings Bank, and the modernization of the police force, amongst others. However, he was equally noted for his abrasive demeanor and conflicts with local vestrymen. This conflict came to a head in November 1909 during the meeting of the magistrates and vestry. C.J.H. Goring, an appointed justice from Barbados who settled in Grand Cayman in 1901, publicly challenged Commissioner Hurst and complained of his behavior. Not to be outmatched, however, the commissioner responded, and upon adjournment of the session, he lectured the assembly, telling them that the attack by Justice Goring was an insult to his office. He further admonished Mr. Goring and his followers to, quote, fear God and honor the king. Information from this historical vignette was sourced from Founded Upon the Seas, A History of the Cayman Islands and Their People by Michael Creighton and the New History Committee.
Radio Cayman's historical facts vignettes are proudly brought to you by Cayman National, with branches on all 3 Cayman Islands. Visit Cayman National Bank today for all of your financial needs.
I need a bank that is convenient for me.
What do you mean?
I need a bank that has easy-to-find locations and plenty ATMs when I need cash on the go.
Oh, well, that's easy. You need to bank with Cayman National. They have 7 customer service centers and 23 ATM locations. The newest one is at the East End Post Office, and I hear there's more to come.
Well, sounds like I need to bank with Cayman National Bank, the convenient bank, because they seem to be everywhere.
Yeah, that's true. Cayman National is everywhere. Surely they are Cayman's convenient bank.
Cayman National Bank. We're here for you. Oh gosh.
Don't let the stress of taking care of loved ones get you down.
Home care, now made easier with Cayman Medical Supplies. 100% Caymanian owned. Cayman Medical Supplies now stocks a wide range of home care supplies. Hospital beds, all types of wheelchairs, including beach access wheelchairs, lifts, commodes, shower chairs, walkers, Curad brand orthopedic supplies, free blood glucose monitors with the purchase of 1 pack of test strips, blue underpads, and a whole lot more.
Need home care convenience? Drop by Cayman Medical Supplies at 93 Smith Road, Windward Center, or call 949-6211. Free delivery.
Retain your peace of mind by installing a reliable generator, knowing that your family is safe and secure during a power outage. At Corporate Electric, we care about the well-being of our customers and their loved ones. We are the official distributor of Kohler SDMO generators in the Cayman Islands and can conduct a free assessment of your house to suggest the perfect fit. Call us at 946-2277. Visit our website or the Facebook page for more details.
Welcome back to the Business Buzz, the business topics that matter, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local business environment. Business Buzz.
Welcome back to Radio Cayman's Business Buzz as we keep the spotlight on e-waste electronic recycling. Now, e-waste refers to electronic products nearing the end of their useful life, for example, computers, televisions, VCRs, stereos, copiers, and fax machines. Many of these products can be reused, refurbished, or recycled. Electronic waste has become the fastest growing global refuse stream in recent years, and in 2016, there were 44.7 million metric tons of e-waste that were generated, equivalent to roughly 4,500 Eiffel Towers. And this is expected to grow to 52.2 million tons by 2021. Now, that's according to Global E-Waste Monitor 2017 report. And telling us more about e-waste electronics recycling right here in Cayman, I'm pleased to have in studio with me Mr. Erman McCoy, and he's joined by Mr. Michael Henry. Gentlemen, it's about time someone jumped on this, because I'm quite sure our own landfill is filled of electronic devices and photocopiers and fax machines.
It is vital. And I think e-waste is, I would say, the first in Cayman.
Yeah, first of its kind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
To really deal with these equipments.
Right. And I mean, if you look at it, the landfill is a huge issue. And for us doing e-waste, we think that
it's eliminating one more. Yes.
So it's a start for curing the problem at the landfill.
That's right. Now, where electronic items have finally ended their useful lives, how vital is it for you to ensure that the disposal process is handled securely and ethically?
Well, it's very vital for us to ensure that it's recycled properly, because when you're finished, especially flat screen TVs that are now taking up everyone's living room, and e-waste is just not only a commercial service, we're also a residential service, because just as well as the office buildings have items, so does your household.
Correct.
And especially the flat screen TVs where they have mercury in them, and if it's not disposed of properly, just throwing it down in the landfill, the mercury will leak into the soil and get to the water table. And it's really easy to eliminate that issue, because everything comes by boat across the water. Why not pack it up and send it back by boat to a facility that can dispose of it properly?
Now, do you have a size minimum or maximum of items that you collect?
No, we don't. The maximum would be very good for us. That means we'll eliminate the problem that is at the landfill right now. There's no minimum or no maximum.
In size of let's say, machine or equipment?
No, there isn't.
Okay. What is the cost like for having this stuff removed to the person who may want to dispose of these equipment?
There's no cost associated to the private homeowner or businesses. You give us a call, either me or Michael. We'll schedule a pickup, and it's for free, and that's all you have to know.
So, it's almost too good to be true. there's bulk waste pickup right now that's also for free that's going into a landfill. You're telling me for free I can call you. So how do you guys make money?
So money is made by, as we said before, the device is actually decommissioned and then scrapped.
Okay.
So there is a cost, a buyback cost for the precious metals and the plastic in the recycling process.
Okay. So based on what you send to that company overseas will determine what your payback will be.
Correct. That's correct.
Gotcha. How does electronic waste affect the planet, and what can companies do to lessen their carbon footprint based on the time that you've been in this business and what you're seeing the effects it can have on planet Earth?
Well, most of the e-waste is generated by rich developing countries, which hurt the developing countries. And those people there are subject to the leaking mercury in the soil, waters, and stuff like that. Companies can lessen their carbon footprint by making it raise the awareness of e-waste and how to recycle properly.
Okay. What can be the environmental impact if electronics are not disposed of correctly? You mentioned the mercury, but I'm quite sure there are other issues that can affect our planet.
But they're human health issues. Once the leak off, run off into the waters, the soil, it can also be the health issues there. We inhaling the fumes, skin contact by people not knowing how to recycle it properly. It can cause cancer and even death.
How did you all get into the groove, that motion, that whole concept of, wow, this is something I can jump on board and make a business out of it?
It was kind of more of a conversation on what you would call developing an eye, because the landfill is full of miscellaneous items. But when you start to dissect the items, you realize that there's value in the landfill. If there wasn't, no one would be in the garbage business.
Right.
So now we have developed an eye that when we're driving now, we see more than just your trash.
You think that at the end of the day, what you have actually started in just doing electronic items may actually escalate into something else that you can sort, different sort of what we call trash?
Well, definitely. This is just
other items may be added on to.
I think other people out there are starting to think about the concept of just doing plastics, glass, as part of helping the problem. We've just chosen a small area of the big problem, which is electronics. And I think there's, money to be made by recycling the glass and plastic.
And you think that we can have the volumes enough to generate that recycling part of it to have it exported off island?
I think so. Cayman is a consumer base. Everything is imported, so it has to leave.
Some way, somehow.
Yes.
Keep it locked to Radio Cayman's Business Buzz for more when we come back.
You may have heard of them by now. GreenTurtle.ky, a one-stop shop for your mobile needs. Whether shopping for a new phone or topping up a loved one, it's time to hop aboard the Green Turtle Express. From 24-hour delivery in Grand Cayman to sending credit worldwide, GreenTurtle.ky is the future of mobile. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. GreenTurtle.ky. They get there first.
There's an old-time cultural gender-neutral saying that goes like this: once a man, twice a child. Children and the elderly are our more vulnerable citizens. They depend on the strong to get through the day. Child abuse and elderly abuse is never okay. You were once a child, and one day you too will hopefully become an elderly person. Stop the slap. Stop the cycle. Stop the violence.
The Stop the Slap campaign, proudly sponsored by Foster's IGA. Stop the slap. Stop the cycle. Stop the violence.
Who's the leader in savings?
It's Foster's. Give the gift on everyone's Christmas list. The Foster's card.
I mean, who doesn't love free groceries, right?
With a Foster's card, you can shop at any Foster's IGA location, priced right or Bay Market, without having to worry about carrying cash or paying bank fees. Plus, you can easily reload your Foster's card at the register for quick, hassle-free checkouts every time you shop. Pick up your Foster's card in-store or order online at fosters-iga.com.
At Foster's Food Fair IGA, we care.
Country classics.
Well, I was born to coal miner's daughter.
On the road again. They're gonna put me in the movies.
Papa Top again.
Out in the West Texas town of El Paso.
Because you're mine, I walk the line.
Well, I love country classics.
Young love, first love.
You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. If you enjoy classic country music, come hang out with Radio Cayman this Saturday, 3:30 to 6 p.m.
In the Mississippi cotton picking Delta town.
This Saturday afternoon, following American Country Countdown, 3:30 to 6 on Radio Cayman.
Just walk on by. Wait on the corner.
Country classics.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
On a daily basis, making it easy to connect with you, our listeners. Add us to WhatsApp today, 925-3261. That's 925-3261.
Radio Cayman.
Send a text or voice note.
Can I send a request, please?
You don't really have to ask us. Just send a request.
This is a shout out to my ex.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
Welcome back to the Business Buzz, the business topics that matter, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local business environment. Cayman's Business Buzz.
Keeping the spotlight on e-waste electronics recycling and continuing my conversation with Mr. Erdman McCoy and Mr. Michael Henry. What would you say to an aspiring entrepreneur, young persons who may want to throw their hand into entrepreneurship? From idea to reality, the concept of you getting your business going, what advice would you impart on maybe those young persons listening this morning to you guys?
I would say do a lot of research. The internet has a lot of information out there. Try to ask someone who's in a similar field for advice, so you don't start off with mistakes. You want to start off with a smooth sailing idea and company.
Mr. Henry?
Only thing I would say to anyone young that sees an opportunity to be an entrepreneur is don't try to get everything correct the first go.
Wow.
It's
excellent words of advice.
Trial and error. And don't try to accumulate all the tools to make your first move. Just jump up, go down to the registrar, get your TBL, and get your feet on the ground and start running.
Yes. Some of us think we got to have that $100,000 in the bank before we get started. That's not the case. You got to also be a risk taker. Would you agree?
Yes, very much so.
100%.
As of now, we have in the bank account
zero. That's
Zero.
usually how it is. But some way, somehow, it always works its way out.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
Now that you've started this business, how have persons embraced what you're doing? Be it office business, other businesses who found themselves with all of this inventory that they have no use for and didn't know how to correctly dispose of it.
Well, it's a funny thing you said that because there's been a few people that I've reached out to and Michael have reached out to that are in big companies that are sitting on storeroom of waste.
Wow.
Which we've approached and hopefully we get the chance to clean up that storeroom, and they can actually use that for something useful.
Something instead of trash.
Yes.
What about residential homes? People may not understand, and they just have in a corner a broken, let's say, printer, or like I mentioned before, TVs that are they're hoping that they could get it fixed, but it never leaves the corner to go and get repaired. And they're like, I've had it. I'm done. I'm over.
Well,
how do you deal with residential customers?
Well, I like to call it the modern figurines. Where the old DVD player is still there,
yes.
and there's dust.
VCRs.
Yes, it's dust accumulated on it. It serves no purpose. It's
Right.
just filling a spot that you could put a picture frame or something that is working.
Uh-huh.
So, we're trying to get some bins that will be stationed at drop-off points around the island.
Mm-hmm.
And like I was explaining to my partner, we really need to jump on the bins for the schools.
Yes.
Because the kids are more active than the parents and
Yes.
have more ambition at their age.
Mhm.
And it'll be more easier for them to bring it, drop it in the bin, than for the parent to actually move it off of the china
You're
cabinet
right.
or the dresser.
And the quicker they drop it in the bin, the quicker they get a new one.
That's right. That's right.
Christmas is right around the corner.
That's right.
It was funny that you mentioned that too, because I was talking to Michael. I said, you have to see some of the antique amplifiers that I have at home.
Mm-hmm.
I have like I think it's like second generation iPod
Mm-hmm.
with no color on the screen.
Do you have the Walkman still with the
I do have a Walkman.
Yes, Lord.
And I have a tape player. That still works.
So charity begins at home,
Yes, yes.
You're right. You're right.
Now, how can persons get additional information on e-waste? Again, just in case they may have missed your contact details before.
We're currently finalizing our flyers. So we're hoping that next week we'll have them on island. We're going to start distributing them island-wide. They can contact me at 916-6764.
They can contact me at 325-5033.
And our email is info@ewaste.ky.
And you're on Facebook as well.
We're on Facebook.
Any closing words each of you would like to leave with our listening audience? What would you like to recap or make sure you drive home to those who may just be hearing about e-waste and what services you offer?
Well, in closing, I would like to say that let's make Cayman the blueprint for the rest of the Caribbean in how to recycle electronics properly. And we can avoid adding to our current landfill here, which we know is a big issue. So let's be a part of the solution for the issue we already have. And we want the support from the local companies because we are a local company.
Mm-hmm. Mr. McCoy?
Well,
closing and
I would like to thank you, Sabrina, and Miss
Susan,
our
producer,
for having us here.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you again. Closing, there's a quote that I actually have on the foot of our email.
Uh-huh.
It comes from Tim Cook, who is the CEO of Apple.
Mm-hmm.
It says, "We want to leave the world a better place than we found it."
That's right.
That's e-waste.
It has been a pleasure, young man, speaking with you and allowing us here on the Business Buzz to put the spotlight on e-waste electronics recycling. Again, to hear more or to get more information from e-waste, give them a call, 916-764 and 325-5033. It has been a pleasure, and I wish you two all success in your future endeavors.
Thank you,
Sabrina.
Stay tuned for more of the Business Buzz after the 8 o'clock news, sports, and weather update. Well, we're here in the first quarter of that segment on the IRCS Property and Construction Conference. Over to you, Susan.
Thank you, Sabrina. And studio time now by Price Right is 7:58.
Price Right is Grand Cayman's warehouse shopping superstore, making your dollar go further with huge savings and no membership fees. Get more of the things you use every day at the right price. But it's not just grocery and health and beauty. Price Right has a full range of products from office to automotive, patio furnishings to kitchen appliances, and even electronics. And since warehouse prices mean savings for you, everything is priced right at Price Right, Grand Cayman's warehouse shopping superstore.
We are Radio Cayman, and this is how we wake you up in the morning.
Praise time on Radio Cayman.
Sing your praise to the Lord. Come on, everybody, stand up and sing one more. Hallelujah, give your praise to the Lord. United in Jesus Christ, we are the soldiers of the land.
Praise time.
Weekday mornings from 6 until 6:30.
There's a meeting up in heaven. Roll call. He's a name in the Lamb's Book of Life. Roll call, brother, sister. Roll call. If you don't stop shouting, if you don't stop dancing, we're going to put you out of our church.
Praise time.
Jesus in the morning, yeah.
Weekday mornings from 6 until 6:30.
Your song flowed through my lips. Your work moved through my hands. Your thoughts stay on my mind. Live in me.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
Your community. News and information. Radio Cayman is your choice, your voice for today's biggest news. Radio Cayman.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. The Royal Cayman Islands Police Service launches Operation Azurite, its holiday traffic enforcement and crime prevention campaign. RCIPS Media Officer Jody Empowery says the operation will continue through New Year's, and so far several tickets have already been issued.
We've already started our operations, and so far in one of our operations, we've issued 26 tickets for tint and 39 other tickets for several different offenses, including speeding. We've warned 12 persons for intended prosecution for TOR offenses like insurance certificate of roadworthiness or expired license.
Media Officer Powery says a further 2 arrests were made for people caught driving while disqualified. In an effort to reduce recidivism rates and advance rehabilitation efforts for its clients, the Department of Community Rehabilitation is implementing a new community supervision technique known as Changes. The program will enhance the level of supervision offered to high-risk offenders that are placed on community-based orders by the court and the Conditional Release Board. A group of 12 probation officers as well as senior officers recently completed a 5-day training session on the Change Agents and Community Supervision method. Ministry's Deputy Chief Officer Catherine Dinsmore-Powell had this message for the officers at the opening of the training session.
I have no doubt that these new skills will enable you to facilitate a level and type of change in your clients that you have not seen before. Change that will ultimately result in a reduction in reoffending behavior and in crime, particularly amongst those who pose a high level of risk to the community. One of this government's broad outcomes is to reduce crime and the fear of crime, and you have the ability to contribute directly to achieving these goals, thereby enhancing the quality of life for your clients, their families, and the wider community.
The trainers will provide ongoing support to the probation officers through monthly meetings, individual feedback sessions, and refresher workshops. In regional news, in Trinidad, police this week made a multi-million-dollar drug, firearm, and ammunition bust at an apartment in an upscale residential area and arrested 5 people. According to local media reports, intelligence had revealed that there was a Venezuelan-Mexican drug cartel linked to the seizure, which is valued at about $2.2 million. Acting on intelligence, the Special Operations Response Team and Commissioner of Police Gary Griffith went to the residence in West Moorings, Diego Martin, west of the capital of Port of Spain, around midday and discovered a large quantity of drugs and firearms. 2 men and 2 women were arrested at the house, while a 5th suspect who fled the scene in a BMW was later intercepted by police. Commissioner Griffith explained that the sting was set up after police received information the day before about possible drug activity in the area. He said the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service was going after all those responsible for the drug trade, no matter where they are. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, who will take us out of the newscast. I'm Carsley Fuller from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
BBC News. China has called for the release of a senior executive from the technology giant Huawei, who's been arrested in Canada. Meng Wanzhou was held after an extradition request from the United States. It's understood she's accused of violating U.S. sanctions against Iran.
As talks on how to end the war in Yemen were due to begin in Sweden, Houthi rebels threatened to shut down the airport in the Yemeni capital to the UN if no agreement was reached on restarting regular passenger flights. The talks are the first in 2 years to bring together the internationally recognised government and Houthi rebels. The former Roman Catholic Archbishop of Adelaide in Australia, Philip Wilson, has had his conviction for concealing child abuse overturned. Earlier this year, the Archbishop was sentenced to at least 6 months home detention for covering up abuse by a paedophile priest. Thousands of security personnel have been deployed in the North Indian town of Ayodhya to prevent violence during the anniversary of the destruction of a centuries-old mosque. Hindu extremists who claimed that the mosque had been built on the site of an earlier temple tore it down in 1992. That triggered riots that left thousands dead. The Election Complaints Commission in Afghanistan has invalidated all the votes polled in Kabul province during October's parliamentary elections. It was acting on reports of widespread fraud. Counting across the country is still underway. BBC News.
Access. Information. What's happening in your community? News and information, music and more. You can find us. www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Radio Cayman is your choice, your voice for today's biggest news. Radio Cayman.
Stay connected and share your favorite holiday moments with Flow. Pick up the Alcatel A1 from $70 or the Samsung J2 Pro, packed with sweet features from $130. Every week you can win cash and prizes in our Cash Cube when you top up. Also check out our weekly top-up specials. Visit Flow's Facebook and Instagram pages to follow the deals. Plus, top up $25 or more for plenty chances to win great Flow holiday prizes. So make it Flow for everything mobile this Christmas. Visit discoverflow.ky for more. Terms and conditions apply.
Matt Brown and Rita Estevanovich star in the Cayman Christmas Comedy Show. A gift from the CNCF to you. Yay! Christmas Comedy Show. I am excited.
Well, I don't want to see it.
Too bad. You're in it.
Me in a show?
It's the best Festivus Christmas show ever. Coming to your district between December 11th to 16th. Visit Facebook/Cayman Culture for all the details. Yes. I am going. Definitely I am going.
In financial news, world financial markets took a fresh hit today following the arrest of a senior official at Chinese telecoms equipment maker Huawei that could hinder progress in U.S.-Chinese trade talks. Keeping score, the DAX in Germany fell 1.6% to 11,024, and France's CAC 40 dropped 1.5 percentage points to 4,869. The FTSE 100 in Britain lost 1.5 percentage points to 6,818. U.S. futures also augured a downbeat start for Wall Street after Wednesday's market closure for the funeral of former President George H.W. Bush. The contract for the Dow lost 1.2% to 24,759, and that for the S&P 500 dropped 1.1% to 2,673. Looking at Asia's day, Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index tumbled 2.5% at 26,156, and Japan's benchmark Nikkei 225 fell 1.9% at 21,501. South Korea's Kospi sank 1.6% to 2,068. The Shanghai Composite Index dropped 1.7% to 2,605. In energy, benchmark U.S. crude lost $1 to $51.89 a barrel in electronic trading on the New York Mercantile Exchange. It fell 0.7% to $52.89 per barrel in New York. Brent crude used to price international oils dropped 99 cents to $60.57 per barrel. And in currencies, the dollar slipped to 112.69 yen from 113.20. The euro was flat at 1.1343.
Advance Automotive Chevrolet is celebrating their 10th birthday by giving away $10,000 to one lucky person who buys a brand new Chevrolet. Not buying a new car this year? Well then, why not be one of 10 people who could win free gas for a year? Book any service with Advance Automotive before December 19th to enter. And remember, Advance Automotive can service any make of vehicle so everyone can enter. Visit AdvanceChevrolet.com for more details or call 945-9191 to book your service today. Terms and conditions apply.
Hopscotch Entertainment presents tribute to two of the island's greatest bands, Memory of Justice and Humble and the Meek, featuring special guest Freddie Jackson. Alongside special guest Naomi Cohen. This December 7th, 8 p.m. sharp at the Lion Center. Admission is free. Admission is totally free. Featuring special guests Rex and Impulse Band, Lammy Seymour, Edward Solomon, Regeneration Band, Molly and Brian, Gerald Rankin, Dexter Bodden, and Fire Squad. Donations are accepted. Sponsored by the Ministry of Culture, Miracle Brokers, Digicel, Radio Cayman, The Lobster Pot, JN Money Transfer, and the Cayman Islands Music Association. Freddie Jackson, live in concert, Friday, December 7th at the Lion Center.
Your weather update after 8 is brought to you by Brand Source Home Gallery, creating elegant bathrooms with European-style fixtures and fittings.
Good morning. Time now for the latest weather report. Current temperature is 82 degrees. Relative humidity is 76%. Barometric pressure 30.05 inches and rising. The wind is east-northeast at 15 knots. Overnight low temperature was 81 degrees. Synopsis indicate moderate to fresh northeasterly winds and rough seas expected across the Cayman area for the next 24 hours as a cold front becomes stationary just north of the Cayman area and the associated high-pressure system builds over the southeastern United States. Now the forecast for the Cayman Islands for today calling for partly sunny skies with a 20% chance of showers, and temperatures will rise to the mid to upper 80s. Your winds will be east to northeast 15 to 20 knots. Seas will be rough with wave heights of 4 to 6 feet with swells likely along the west coast for today and tonight as well. Small craft should exercise caution over open water. Tonight, partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of late-night showers, and temperatures will fall to the mid-70s. Winds will be northeast at 15 to 20 knots, and seas will be rough with wave heights of 4 to 6 feet, especially along the west coast. High tide will occur this morning at 9:36, low tide this afternoon at 3:39, and a high tide again tonight at 8:42. The sun will set this evening at 5:46, and sunrise tomorrow morning at 6:47. And the outlook is calling for similar weather conditions through Saturday morning as the high-pressure system builds over the southeast United States.
Your weather update after 8 is brought to you by Brand Source Home Gallery, creating elegant bathrooms with European-style fixtures and fittings.
Christmas is coming early this year at Brand Source, just in time to spruce up your home with a fresh new look for the holiday. Come early morning, Saturday, December 8th for the best discount. Save big with 25% off store-wide from 8 a.m. to noon on appliances, mattresses, bathroom fixtures, vanities, custom closets, and kitchen cabinets. From noon until close, get 15% off. So come early and save more. Saturday, December 8th at the pre-Christmas sale event at Brand Source Home Gallery, Industrial Park.
Good morning once again, and time now to have a look at what's happening traffic-wise. Busy traffic coming from the east on Shamrock Road and also on the Linford-Pearson Highway. Slight delays expected as you head on down to Georgetown. Coming off Bobby Thompson Way, a little steady but flowing traffic. On the Westby Road in front of the Ritz, traffic is moving along moderately in both directions. And on Huldah Avenue and on Thomas Russell Avenue, steady but flowing traffic. Light to moderate traffic flow on Edward Street in front of the Georgetown Post Office. Coming from the Westway 4-way stop, light to moderate traffic flow. And on Godfrey Nixon Way, traffic is moderate, and on Eastern Avenue, traffic flowing moderately as well. And as we take a look at what's happening on Crew Road, some sections of Crew Road moderate, other sections busy. That's the very latest on your traffic. Join us again at about 10 minutes after 12 as we update you traffic-wise. And remember, when you see a school bus with lights flashing red and a stop sign, slow down, and stop means stop.
I can tell you
Williams Production presents the Crab Family in Cayman, Monday, December 31st at the Lions Center in support of Adasi. Kickoff time is at 7 p.m. Tickets are only $25 and $35 at the gate. Purchase your tickets now at the Christian Enlightenment Center and Funky Dance. It's all brought to you by the Office of the Premier, Ministry of District Administration, Tourism and Transport, Value Med Pharmacy, Cayman First, Uncle Clem's, Hides and Son, Praise 87.9 FM, Tony's Toys, and Radio Cayman. The Crab Family in the Cayman Islands, Monday, December 31st at the Lions Center.
sometimes it takes a mountain. Sometimes a troubled sea.
In local sports, over 25 FIFA referees take part in a 4-day international training course hosted by the FIFA Referees Assistance Program. President of FIFA, Alfredo Whitaker, says the officials learned a lot about game preparation.
In a nutshell, they learned the most important part of it, that is classification of fouls, intensity of fouls. They learn about the new concept of the offside rule. They learn about management of players. They learn a lot more about game preparation from the referees towards the game, not only mentally, but physically. And I think that we should start to see a difference starting this week.
2 FIFA instructors, AC Bahamars from the U.S., took charge of the technical and practical side, and Eric Samayoya of Guatemala took charge of the fitness aspect of the course. And in international sports, the Russian Olympic Committee has appealed a Moscow court ruling that sought to overturn a doping disqualification against a double gold medalist from the Sochi Winter Olympics. The city court ruled last month that bobsledder Alexander Zubkov, who carried the Russian flag at the Sochi opening ceremony, could keep his medals because a court of arbitration for sport decision to uphold his disqualification wasn't valid in Russia. That was a challenge to the authority of CAS and the International Olympic Committee. The ROC said on Wednesday the CAS ruling was valid under international law and that ignoring it could lead to more sanctions against Russia from the IOC, even potentially threatening Russia's place at the 2020 Olympics in Tokyo.
Welcome back to the Business Buzz, the business topics that matter, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local business environment. Business Buzz.
Pleasant good morning and welcome back to the second segment of Radio Cayman's Business Buzz right here on Radio Cayman. And we put the spotlight on the organization Royal Institution of Chartered Surveyors, Cayman Islands chapter. And we're talking about an upcoming event that is taking place right here in March of 2019. And it's the RICS Property and Construction Conference. I'm pleased to have in studio telling us more Mr. Obi and Mr. Kevin Drysdale, Events Committee member. Gentlemen, good morning, and it's a pleasure to have you on our show.
Good morning.
Morning.
Now tell us all about this Royal Institution of Chartered Surveyors and what are the main functions?
Well, the Royal Institution of Chartered Surveyors is a global organisation now. Began in the UK 150 years, so we're celebrating 150 years anniversary. We're made up of 150,000 professionals, property professionals across the globe, and there's around about 50 qualified surveyors here in Cayman, which is actually pretty good for a small island. Mm-hmm. We've got a good representation and a good representation across the various disciplines, the RSS disciplines generally speaking, and there's many subdivisions of these. Are quantity surveying, which deals with the capital cost of buildings, repair, maintenance, and also with project management. Then we'll have general practice surveyors, mm-hmm. who Jay might take issue with that general comment, but they're
jack of all trade.
Yeah, they're broken down into two distinct areas: agency work and valuation work, which is both residential and commercial. Then we've got building surveyors, land surveyors, chattel surveyors, business surveyors, and interestingly enough, also art surveyors.
Interesting. Now, who are the members of the local chapter board?
The local chapter, good morning, Sabrina. Thanks for having us.
It's a pleasure.
The local chapter just got reorganised, and I just took over from the previous chair, Nigel Bates.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. There are 5 of us on the local chapter at the moment. There's Ruth Watson, she's the Acting Chief Valuation Officer with the Cayman Islands government. Jeremy Superfine, he's the Director at BCQS. Alex Farrington, she's a partner at Quayside Surveys. And Andrew McBean, he's with Arch and Godfrey. And basically our priorities for the next few years are to promote our organization. We want to be there and tell people a lot more about what we do and how we do what we do. So we're going to make a deliberate effort and be proactive rather than being reactive. And part of promoting the organization is also exposing what we do to younger generation. A lot of the people in our profession are closer to 50 and on the way out, if you get what I mean. So we want to try and attract more younger people.
Ones, right.
It is a very, very varied and interesting career. And we want to go into the schools. We want to be at career fairs. We want to be able to do that. And finally, we want to create an avenue where we're talking about all things property. And that leads us into having a conference, which would be the 4th one we've had in the last, the 4th one. We have it every other year, so.
Excellent. Can you give us an overview of the Cayman Islands Property and Construction Conference and what will be some of the key objectives?
Okay. This is a one-day conference, and basically what we try and do, I mean, we only have 50 members on the island, so we think that only attracting the 50 members won't work. So we try and collaborate with other property professionals and organizations on the island to create an avenue where we can, for one day, sit down and discuss what factors are influencing our industry, what are the internal factors, the external factors. At the moment, the property market is doing very well.
Right.
You know, you hear property prices going up and there's so much demand and not enough supply. And and government revenue is doing well because they're earning a lot of money from stamp duty revenue. How long will that continue?
Yes.
That's the question.
Or how can we determine, how are you able to confirm that it's real?
Exactly.
In comparison to other jurisdictions, when you look at prices of property, how do we know what we're valuating property or other items that you say you have surveyors for is real?
Yeah. And the construction market as well is not just sales, it's construction. I've had a few people say to me, we're trying to do some renovation to our house, but we can't find any contractor. Everyone's so busy. So this boom that we've seen in the construction and real estate industry, how long is it going to last?
Yes.
What are the factors that are driving it? Those are the kind of things we're going to be looking at during this conference, and that's why the title is Boom or Bust, Navigating the Cayman Islands Real Estate and Construction Market.
Excellent. Now, can you give us a hint as to who will be the keynote speaker and the topics he or she will be discussing?
Okay. The keynote speaker will be the past RICS president, Mr. John Hughes. He's based in Canada and he comes with a wealth of experience. He will be talking about the UK, US and Canadian property markets. What are those markets doing? Which way are those markets heading? Because we feel that we need to look at the external factors which influence the market, and see what's going on outside us and see, okay, are those things going to continue? And if those things are going to continue, what impact will that have on us? So that's what the keynote address is going to be about, and we're really looking forward to it because it comes with a lot of information and it'll be a good one,
Who will the other speakers be?
Rather than sort of do a list of speakers and agendas as such, the general premise of the property and construction conference is there is a link between construction and property where we're all in the same pot. Quite often you find conferences which focus on one or the other. We are actually trying to bring it all together. So the agenda is very much focused on the whole of both industries as a whole. So the agenda not only is the keynote speaker, but we have a market outlook panel, which will take questions from the floor about where they believe the property and the construction industries are going. We then have, and that's going to include leading members of the property and construction industry from across a wide range, not just chart surveyors. We're going to have bankers, lawyers. We've got property developers in there. We have leaders of the construction companies taking part. It's very much along the lines of the sort of question time of format that was very popular, is very popular on UK TV. We then have other specialised items, and then in the afternoon we break up into 3 streams. The 3 streams deal with property and the valuation of property, construction, and elements associated around that, and then also a third stream which is mainly to do with the management of properties. We've got a lot of stratas that need to be managed.
We do. Now, can you provide us with some details on property and construction markets outlook for the Cayman Islands 2019?
As mentioned, that's a market outlook session. It's going to be the table of industry leading people. There'll be a lot of well-known people on that table. We're still waiting for people to finally confirm, so we can't say who they are at the moment.
Right.
But they will be taking questions from the floor, and it's really is, we're looking for wide-ranging questions from the floor, not just the obvious ones. We want to really push these people's buttons and really get an insight into where they think the next 2 to 3 years are going in this country.
Right.
That sessions, we've got some confirmed speakers. It'll be moderated by Jeremy Hurst of IRG. He's done this before, and he's been a great moderator in driving the show forward. Paul Biles will be one of the speakers. He's an economist. Matthew Wright of NCB and Harun Pinduhi, the Director of Planning. So those are the confirmed speakers for the Market Outlook session at the moment. We're trying to get 1 or 2 more to add. So we've got a wide breadth of speakers being able to sort of add and say,
Have you confirmed a venue?
Yeah, the venue is going to be at the Marriott.
Okay. And March of 2019, a specific date, or that's still pending?
That date has been confirmed, Friday the 15th of March.
The 15th of March.
Yes.
Who is this conference geared towards? Who are you expecting to really embrace a conference of this nature?
If you're in the property industry and the construction industry, that's who we're looking to embrace. We're looking for youngsters. We're looking for the experienced. We're looking for everybody. If you have an interest in property, in the management of property, this conference is for you.
Yeah.
And it's important to note it is just 1 day. So we're not expecting commitment to come for 2-3 days. We are literally going to start to finish, be done in a day.
Now, just talk about the networking opportunities that is even possible by attending this conference.
Yeah. I mean, not just to add to what Kevin said, it's not just if you're a professional in that space. If you own property or you're thinking about investing in property, this is a good one. You can pick and choose what session you come for and just stay for the session, and you go back to your day job and then come back. And there's a good networking opportunity because at the conference, what we've found out in the past is that we've been able to mix it. So you get the valuers, you get the realtors, you get the property developers, you get the contractors, everybody in one space for one day. That rarely happens.
Right.
A lot of people you speak to over the phone on a daily basis, you get to see them and meet with them in person.
Yes.
And I think that's the biggest attraction is the networking opportunities, getting to meet people. It is a small island, but we're also busy, so we don't get to see each other as often as we would like. So this gives you that opportunity.
How can persons register, and is there a deadline?
The registration page is now up. It's eventbrite.com, and if you type in Cayman Property Conference, there isn't a deadline there. It just came up live yesterday, and the fee is $150 US, and that includes lunch. We try and make it as affordable as possible because the aim is to get as many people as possible in the room to discuss. Not making a profit out of the conference. So it's $150 US.
What kind of feedback have you received from previous RICS conferences?
Well, I'm not going to deny there's been people who've come back with some negative feedback. They expected something more. But in the main, we've been flattered by the response from previous conferences. Very encouraging, very supportive. We've got a lot of repeat people. We have a lot of repeat sponsors come back, which is testimony to the fact that they're getting something out of the conference as well. It's a unique conference. It's the only conference I think held in the Caribbean, which is so rounded in who it's appealing to and who it's focused on and what it's on the message it's trying to put out. we've worked hard to improve upon the feedback we've got, and it's moving very, very smoothly.
Yeah. So Kevin, just add to what Kevin said. One thing that we find out after the conference is people always say, "Wow, this was really good. Why don't you have it every year?"
Mm-hmm.
That shows that there is that interest, but it's difficult trying to have every year, because a lot of planning and effort goes into getting it organized and getting it off.
It's about quality, not necessarily quantity.
Exactly, that's number one. And number two, I attend the Caribbean Conference, and the Caribbean Conference is more about membership.
Mm-hmm.
This is about the only RICS conference I've attended that not focuses on membership, but gets people who are outside the membership
interested.
Exactly.
Okay.
We all play a role, and what's interesting is talking about feedback. The ultimate feedback is who comes to next year, and we've always been oversubscribed.
Mm-hmm.
We've always had more people clamouring for tickets at the end of the day than we have tickets available.
Exactly, and the hall can only take 220, so we maxed it out at 220.
Yeah.
So I encourage anyone who's interested to buy your tickets early, because I think we're going to be subscribed. I mean, we're far ahead of the curve when it comes to our planning, and that is good because I think we'll be able to sell tickets a lot faster than we had in the past.
Are there sponsorship opportunities for companies?
Yes, we've already got a few sponsors that have signed up, and most of them are repeat sponsors. Some of the repeat sponsors include Appleby, Butterfield Bank, BCQS, Campbell's, Cayman First Insurance, Department of Planning, Island Heritage, DDL, Quayside, and Pinnacle Media. Those are the gold sponsors.
Yeah, and then we have a number of silver sponsors as well, people like Bodden & Bodden, Cayman National, Fidelity, Insurance Services. What's interesting is that these people, generally speaking, are repeat. And we always give our sponsors who've supported us in the past an opportunity ahead of the curve to get involved. And therefore, at the end of the day, we don't have many places to fill.
Right.
There are a couple of places, however, that are available, and I encourage anybody who's out there who's listening who'd like to get involved and take the benefits of those sponsorship packages to get in touch.
Mm-hmm.
They're provided with a table, displays, and it's right in the foyer, so everybody would be walking past their tables, so they get good exposure. There may be an opportunity to speak as well. We try to embrace or include as many of our sponsors as we can. Obviously, we can't guarantee that because that would be logistically impossible to do. But we do make an effort.
Okay, I mean, it is a one-day event.
Yes.
So, just for clarity in persons, can you share with us the duties of a surveyor? What is it like in the life of being a surveyor?
Well, I'm only 23. I've had a hard paper round.
What is it like?
That's interesting. It depends on whether you're evaluation surveyor or whether you're a quantity surveyor / project manager like Kevin is. I'm a valuation surveyor. So basically what we do is we do property appraisals or property valuations for banks, the government, and other financial institutions for a variety of reasons. Mm-hmm. Most of it is for secured lending. So the bank wants to lend money to an individual who's buying a property or remortgaging their property, and they ask us to do an evaluation of the property. Mm-hmm. And we have certain standards that we have to follow, and it's quite subjective, extremely subjective, so it's quite interesting.
So working with the colleges and the high schools to get the younger ones interested in this industry, what would you think would be the main pitch to get to spark their interest?
For me, one of the things I enjoy about my job, and I'm a quantity surveyor principally, is the fact that at the end of the day I don't just end up with a pile of papers or, today, computer files.
Yes.
I do look with some envy at times upon the accountancy and the legal practice, but when they step away from things, what do they actually have for that? Mm-hmm. I can take you to the gymnasium at John Gray.
Exactly.
I've seen people's face when they walk in there and they go, wow, can't believe we have a facility like this on this island. Yes. It's amazing. I was a quantity surveyor on that. That was my job.
Wow.
I'm working on the airport. So at the end of the day, people will walk through that and go, wow, and it's going to be an incredible project when it's finished.
Right.
That's one of the takeaways I'd like to sort of put out there to people, is that there's there is something tangible at the end of it. You are part of a design process, your construction process, and at the end of the day, you've got something you can stand back and say, did that.
I'm a part of that.
I'm part of that.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I think it's the fact that you're not behind your desk 24/7.
Yeah.
In the mornings, you're out, you have a look at properties, you're meeting people, getting to know people, getting to find out why you're buying this property, what are your thoughts, what do you take into consideration in making an offer for the property, going back to the office, writing the report and sending it out. So I think that's the most interesting thing. One thing I would say that we haven't done well and we're looking at is adopting technology in what we do. Because, I mean, the generation that is all about technology, phones and everything to do something.
Yes.
We haven't done a good job in doing that, and I think that if we do that more and we find a way to adopt technology in what we do, we'll be able to attract the next generation.
Maybe you want to start a chartered surveyors club at one of the schools and colleges and let's see if you can harness their technical skills.
I mean, I think the easiest way to do is start a property where you like Monopoly.
Yeah.
Like they play Monopoly and see how they can invest in property, property investment club or property investment competition, that sort of thing. There's that kind of things we're thinking about, but I mean, it's first steps.
Yeah. So. Baby steps. Can you recap about the upcoming conference and how can persons get additional information, gentlemen?
Conferences it's coming up, the Construction and Property Conference. Sorry, I got frog in my throat. It's now live. Registrations are being taken for members and people out there who'd like to attend. Which I can't remember the
Eventbrite.com.
Eventbrite.com. Please go on there, register. Full details of the conference are there. We look forward to having you there, welcoming you there, and we hope to really put on a good show.
And for those persons who are just not into this going on and registering, is there a number, an office they can go to just register and get the opportunity to attend this conference?
I'm happy for anybody to contact me, Kevin Drysdale at JEC. Mobile phone's probably the easiest way to get me because I'm on site a lot, so it's 526-7326 or kevin.drysdale at jec.ky.
And my details are Uche Obi at my DDL. My number is 938-2077. Not only people interested in attending, if you're interested in sponsorship, please contact either Kevin and I.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, it has been a pleasure having you on the Business Buzz and allowing us to put the spotlight on your upcoming conference. Again, that's March 15th, 2019 at the Marriott Beach Resort. Log on to the website for additional details. All the best with the preparations and all success to your upcoming conference.
Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity. Thank you.
It's a pleasure. Stay tuned for more of the Business Buzz after these few messages.
You may have heard of them by now. greenturtle.ky, a one-stop shop for your mobile needs. Whether shopping for a new phone or topping up a loved one, it's time to hop aboard the Green Turtle Express. From 24-hour delivery in Grand Cayman to sending credit worldwide, greenturtle.ky is the future of mobile. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. greenturtle.ky. They get there first.
Healthcare Pharmacy in Governor Square and Grand Harbor is now fully stocked with the best from Hallmark. This means Christmas cards, gift wrap, gifts, photo frames, soft toys, toys for boys and girls, and toys for babies and toddlers. For the love of your life, Healthcare Pharmacy is stocked with fragrances, cologne, and perfume collections. For those who like to spoil themselves, pick up a spa gift bag with all the goodies in it. Don't get caught empty-handed this Christmas. Fill up that space under the Christmas tree with the help of Healthcare Pharmacy, now in Governor Square and always in Grand Harbor.
There's an old-time cultural gender-neutral saying that goes like this: once a man, twice a child. Children and the elderly are our more vulnerable citizens. They depend on the strong to get through the day. Child abuse and elderly abuse is never okay. You were once a child, and one day you too will hopefully become an elderly person. Stop the slap. Stop the cycle. Stop the violence.
The Stop the Slap campaign has been proudly sponsored by Cayman National Bank. Stop the slap. Stop the cycle. Stop the violence.
It's more than what we do. It's who we are. We were your official bank of the quincentennial celebrations in 2003. We were your Bank of the Year 4 times. We were voted as the inaugural top employer in 2010. We were the inaugural Business of the Year awardee in 2017. Who are we? We are Cayman National, your local bank, proudly serving you for over 40 years. It's because of you that our journey continues.
Oh gosh.
Don't let the stress of taking care of loved ones get you down.
Home care, now made easier with Cayman Medical Supplies. 100% Caymanian owned. Cayman Medical Supplies now stocks a wide range of home care supplies. Hospital beds, all types of wheelchairs, including beach access wheelchairs, lifts, commodes, shower chairs, walkers, Curad brand orthopedic supplies. Free blood glucose monitors with the purchase of 1 pack of test strips, blue underpads, and a whole lot more.
Need home care convenience? Drop by Cayman Medical Supplies at 93 Smith Road, Windward Center, or call 949-6211. Free delivery.
Welcome back to the Business Buzz, the business topics that matter, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local business environment. Business Buzz.
Good morning and welcome back to the Business Buzz. And in this segment, we're pleased to put the spotlight on a pop-up store in collaboration with Design Studio. And I'm pleased to welcome in studio Ms. Shruti Garrison to the Business Buzz. Shruti Garrison to the Business Buzz to tell us more about this pop-up store. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. The pop-up store is a concept that Michelle Butler, the proprietor of the store, and I came up with. It's to give consumers an option to come and buy really beautiful design-focused gifts. And what we've done is we've segregated them into various sections. So you have gifts under $25, gifts under $50, gifts under $75, gifts under $100. So this way, whatever your budget is, there's a section for you. But the beauty of the collection is that everything is very design focused. So in the sense, like even if you bought something that was gifts under the $25 category, it would still be absolutely beautiful. And, you know, sometimes you feel like, oh my gosh, is this the right gift? Should I take it? I'm not feeling comfortable, but I don't have anything else to give. But you know, the collection is so beautiful that people wouldn't even know that gifts are so inexpensive.
It's true. What are the main items persons can find at your store?
Well, the store is based on, of course, interior design. They offer interior design services, but the retail store focuses on furniture, accessorizing your home, such as cushions, vases, bowls, any accessories that you might think apart from furniture is also showcased in the retail.
Now, how did a collaboration like this came about? I mean, how is it, because you're a pop-up, so
Yes.
after the Christmas holidays you fade away. How does it work?
So Michelle Butler and I go back for many years, and we've always had design as a common focus, as a common chapter in our lives. And when I kind of finished a part of my career, and I was available, and we were discussing, and she says, we've been so busy with focusing on our design interior customers that, we would love for you to come on board. Is that something that you would be interested in, to do a pop-up shop? Because, she knew that I had like a love for design. So I said, yeah, that would be great. So we kind of both collaborated, and we said, okay, let's see how this works for Christmas. And if it's something that's really popular, then we'll continue our collaboration. And if it doesn't, well, at least we gave it a shot.
Right.
Yeah.
In your opinion, why is good customer service vital for a business?
Well, it's without customers, you don't really have a business.
That's true.
And unless and until you offer, authentic, genuine service, even if it's something that maybe you can't provide a particular service, but if you're genuine about your apology, or if you're genuine about the standards or the parameters that you can offer that service within, customers are going to appreciate that, realize that, and even if you don't work with them at that particular instance, they're always going to think about you in the future and say, oh, you know what, I got good service, even though it didn't work out, I got good service, let me reach out again and see what's available.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, do you select products to suit special occasions? Let's say like we're in the festive season right now, the Christmas, and upcoming Valentine's?
Yeah, for sure. That's something that we've discussed and thought about. And, when I'm thinking about gifts for Christmas or for, a special occasions, I'm always focused on like it has to be functional. Like for me, a product has to be functional. It just can't be beautiful, because then it doesn't, apart from making you feel good or you feel good when you look at something beautiful, it doesn't actually perform a function. So for me, it's very important that it actually performs a function and then it's beautiful. So that way, that's what guides me. And then I think about the longevity of the product. Is it going to be a long term, or is it something that's, just for short term use? So I prefer things that are classic, that are beautiful, and that no matter what, you will still be able to enjoy and get pleasure from having it with you. So as opposed to having a ton of things, you've edited your home to just a few wonderful pieces that you look at and that actually, you enjoy.
Why is marketing and promotion an important tool for business?
Well, it's important to let, I think people know what you have, what is current in your shop, what is new, because when you're buying from your different suppliers, they come up with new collections every season. So it's, how do you get that information out? So it's important to have marketing as a big part of your business strategy to inform your regulars and new customers, what's current, what's happening, what's in season, so yeah.
What does it take for entrepreneurs to find success in today's ever-changing business landscape?
Well,
I'm hearing more about these pop-up stores.
Yes.
And it's staring away all online. The bricks and mortar tend to be fading away.
Yeah.
And, but I'm seeing more pop-up than your average bricks and mortar always there.
Yeah. So to the first question, how do you find success? It's, I've always been driven by the fact that failure is not an option for me. I don't have the backup plan of, a trust fund or wealthy relatives that can sponsor me or something. So I don't have that.
Right.
So I feel that pushes me to do better. And there is a kind of an organic or something very true to being able to find success that you've created. So you take something that's never been alive or never been created, and you create something, whether it's a concept or idea, a product or service, and offer that. And then when people have a demand for it and it actually turns into a success, you're never going to be able to experience that if somebody else did it for you. Only you can find that, So going back to how can you become successful is just by not having that option of failure. Like, that's not an option. So I'm determined to make this successful.
What are the hours of operation for persons to find your pop-up store?
So Design Studio is open from 10 in the morning till 7 for Christmas, and on Thursdays is open till 8 for the Camana Bay late shopping period, and open from Monday to Saturdays, 10 to 7.
Do you offer gift certificates as well?
We do. Yes, we do. Yeah.
How affordable are the prices of the products that are available?
So I was just showing Susan over there some of the products. I don't know if the camera will capture this, but if you go to...
That's a nice cutting board.
Yeah. So if you go to... And these are all gifts under 25.
Really?
All of them are under 25. So... if you go to Design Studio's Facebook page and go to their albums, there are some, the albums have been created like 20 gifts under 25, gifts under 50, so on.
Categorized, so it's easier.
So it's easy. But I just pulled this up to show you like how design focused they are, and they're all under 25.
Those are salt and pepper shakers?
Yeah.
All right.
Like,
nice.
Salt and pepper shakers. I mean, a hostess gift or a Secret Santa gift.
Yeah.
It's beautiful to look at. It's simple. It's elegant. So gifts under 25. So they're small dipping dishes.
Yes.
Nice.
Oil
and vinegar carafes, a squirrel bowl, a little Christmassy theme. Another squirrel bowl. So this is a bottle opener.
Really?
Yeah, that says
That's
open.
Cute,
so
innovative. Yes.
Doesn't
Pop a
confuse
top
you.
right
there. So if you have a guy in your life, beer glasses,
Yeah.
gifts under 25, you get a set of 4. whiskey stones. So you basically, they're made out of a type of stone and you put them in the freezer. And, there are some people who like their drinks chilled but not diluted.
But they don't want it watered down.
Yeah.
Correct.
So these, you basically chill your drink without diluting it. And when you're done, you rinse it and you refreeze it. So again, gifts under 25. What else do I have? Oh, yeah. So this is one of my all-time favorite. So these are rocking glasses. So when you touch them, they actually rock without spilling your drink. Yeah. So the designer who designed them was in a plane and the turbulence spilled his drink. So he was thinking of a way
what
to,
can you do
yeah.
to avoid
and
that?
so he came up with this concept, but I love it. So you get a set of 6 for $25.
Wow.
So isn't that a great gift? So if you go online, you'll be able to find.
Yeah, and I'm quite sure there are much more options and items as well.
Yes.
What are some of the more popular items people are now purchasing that you've seen, be it online or coming into your store and saying, I want this?
Yeah. I find because of social media and, easy access to internet, people are very, very inspired by things that are Instagrammable, like things that are beautiful, things that are
eye-catching,
exactly,
functionality.
Exactly.
This goes back to what you're saying, practical gifts.
Yeah. So I find people are very conscious of things that are beautiful, whether it's a gift to give somebody because it says who you are as a person when you're actually giving someone a gift. And that's one of the reasons why we focused on gifts under 25 because because you're constantly going for parties and events, and so you're not spending a lot of money, but still you're taking something that's absolutely beautiful to look at and will last longer than a bottle of wine, if you know what I mean.
Yes. Oh yes.
So I find people are much more focused on things that are beautiful versus before. I think it was just like, okay, let's get anything or whatever is available.
Right.
Now people are a little bit more
thinking,
conscious.
Giving more thought process to it. When you have that particular gift under the Christmas tree and somewhere or the other the label has fallen off and you open it and you're like, oh, I know that gift is from Susan. That speaks Susan. That's exactly what Susan would give me.
Yeah.
That's what you'll find at the design studio.
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
good to know.
Yes.
So, how can persons get in touch with the design studio and going online? How active are you guys? Interactive are you online?
Yeah, so Design Studio has a shop online store. So they have an entire selection of furniture and accessories. So you can actually go and shop online. The products do have a delivery time because they do come from the US, as most of our products do. But you do have items in the store too, and if there's something like, say, for example, you see a bed, but it might not be the right headboard, so they can custom order things for you. We're located in Camana Bay. We're open and it's very inspiring. The store is beautiful. It's got beautiful things. It's very inspiring. So if you're confused as to what to do for Secret Santa or staff gifts, it's a good option. Yeah.
Have you all seen a lot more traffic building into the store looking for that special Christmas gift already?
For sure, just because of how strong we've been with our marketing strategy. I wasn't with them last year, but this year, the feedback I've been getting is people are coming in specifically looking for things that they've seen on social media.
Nice.
So, that feedback is reassuring because your marketing is actually working.
Of course.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself with this pop-up concept of a store in the future?
I'm loving it because I love design. So I'm really enjoying myself with this particular pop-up store. As far as me on my own, if an opportunity presented itself, I'd be happy to work with people and put up these kind of because I think the consumers in Cayman, as you know, on the island, we tend to have very limited not events, but things to do. Things are constantly repeated. So if a new event comes about, people get excited. People want to go. People want to experience that. So, if the opportunity presented itself and somebody said, oh, would you be interested in collaborating? I'd jump all over it.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So would you modify, let's say, your products and services based on the collaboration?
Absolutely.
That's fair.
Because it's something that you would need for it to work for the other business.
Right.
So, whatever. So you think about it creatively, who is the target market, how often, how long is the duration of the pop-up store, where is it going to be held, what are the surroundings it's being held in, is there anything else that can attract people to come and take a part of the pop-up store, and is there something else, like say for example in Design Studio, apart from coming to the pop-up store, they can browse around the shop, plus it's in Camana Bay, so there are other shops that they can go to, so it's a one-stop shop per se. So if you did a pop-up store, I would probably focus on what else can they do around it, so it's not just like a destination. It's they can make it work in other ways too.
Do you think millennials have a role to play in these pop-up stores? Because I'm hearing more and more about them.
Absolutely.
I'm not against them,
yeah.
But do you think the way and the changing of the impact millennials are having on all sectors of the markets has played its toll in why pop-ups are becoming more prevalent?
I definitely think so. For starters, brick and mortar is expensive, and millennials, when millennials, entrepreneurs from the millennial age group, recognize the expense. And if you're starting out on your own, again, if you don't have the trust fund and you're on your own and you're doing it on your own, you think about creative ways.
Yes.
And in order to figure out, well, is there a demand for these products or not? Why don't we do a pop-up store? So, you're collaborating only for maybe a week, maybe a month, or sometimes it could be as short as a day or a couple of days. And you get a taste of, are people looking for it, looking for the products that you're providing? How long is it going to be for? So those kind of things determine and help you establish whether, you're going to move forward or,
How does business license come into play with the pop-up collaboration?
Well, because this is with Design Studio,
And
they're
already
already
established.
They have all their licenses in place. We didn't have to explore that option.
Okay.
But I am sure if, one of the things I was thinking of for another concept, I thought, okay, I would need to have to explore how that would work, because you would have to establish a business license for just 1 or 2 days or even a week. I never ended up getting that far just because Michelle and I kind of collaborated, and so it kind of worked.
So it became behind the scenes conversation because both of you, it's a win-win for both.
Both of us, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
What advice would you extend to maybe those young persons out there who probably didn't even understand this pop-up concept, and you're into retail of items, but there could be pop-up concept of other industries? What advice would you give to those in embracing a pop-up concept?
So let's say I'm going to take a general industry like food. So let's say somebody is very good at baking, and they're getting a lot of orders, and they're wondering whether should we expand, should we not expand? This is a home bakery. How do I make this work? So one of the things is that you can do a pop-up store. So you create a menu, and instead of like expanding to the full range, I would do a selection of maybe 3 or 4 items. Do the production of it, set up a pop-up store. It can be in your home.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a delivery concept. It can be at your home, and you reach out to all your regular customers, and you reach out to all your friends, use social media, email lists, send that out and say, guys, I'm doing a pop-up store for 2 days, and I would love for you to come and give me feedback. And this way it not only interests people to come and visit, and you set your time limit, so you're not drawn exhausted for those 2 days. You set it up to like 10 to 5, so people also know what time to come and be there. So this will allow you to explore whether there's a demand, whether there needs to be, and if you do it on a regular basis, once every month or once every 2-3 months, you'll get a gauge of what the demand is.
Well, in closing, again, can you recap some of the items that are available in store and how persons can get additional information in a quick recap for us, please?
So I would just say going to the Design Studio's Facebook page and just going to their albums. There's a ton of information on the albums because the products are segregated. And if you love design, if you love beautiful things, I would definitely encourage you to just browse through the albums, take a look. And again, because it's a pop-up store, I don't mean to scare people, but we've ordered limited items because we are just establishing and navigating and trying to discover if there's a demand for it. So we've ordered limited amount of things. So if there's something that you like, don't wait, because there are certain products that we've already sold out of. So I would encourage you to browse, and maybe Thursday I'm going to be there Thursday evening. I'm going to be there all day Saturday. So I'm happy to go through things with you and curate it for you, and kind of work with you. Yeah.
It has been a pleasure.
I
want to wish you all success, and I hope moving forward this concept and other collaborations will come to fruition for you.
Thank you so much.
And for all those persons who may have it at the back of their mind that are scared to make that step, Ms. Garrison here explained exactly her experience, and I'm quite sure we'll hear from her again and maybe future collaborations. All success to you and all the best for this festive season.
Thank you, Sabrina. Thanks.
It's a pleasure. We want to thank you, our listening audience, and our loyalists to the Business Buzz show. Our producer, Susan, always putting it together, and definitely we had 3 today. And our kind sponsors, greenturtle.ky, Cayman Medical Supplies, making this show possible. It has been a fabulous week, and looking forward to next week and upcoming, because we're going to get more into the festive mode with our, we got even the Royal Cayman Islands Police coming on board, because it's always about safety issues, but some exciting businesses to put the spotlight on coming up in the coming weeks. It has been a fabulous Thursday, and until Tuesday, have a great weekend.
Satisfaction is guaranteed 24 hours a day, whether it's music or information.
From Grand Cayman to Cayman Brac to Little Cayman, we've got you covered.
You ever hear a tune like that?
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
On a daily basis, making it easy to connect with you, our listeners. Add us to WhatsApp today, 925-3261. That's 925-3261.
Radio Cayman.
Send a text or voice note.
Can I send a request, please?
You don't really have to ask us. Just send a request.
This is a shout out to my ex.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Radio